Picture this. A top U.S. government official tasked with Homeland Security getting visibly rattled by a protester dressed as a chicken. That's the absurd scene The Daily Show spotlighted this week, turning a serious political visit into prime comedy fodder. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this just harmless satire? Or does it highlight deeper flaws in how we perceive threats in America? Stick around to dive into the details and decide for yourself. On Thursday, Daily Show correspondent Josh Johnson took aim at Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem during her trip to Portland, Oregon. She was touring the roof of the city's Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility, a hotspot for demonstrations against former President Donald Trump's strict immigration policies. In a viral clip, Noem spots a demonstrator below on the sidewalk, clad in a bright yellow chicken suit, a playful yet pointed protest against her presence. Johnson couldn't resist poking fun at the moment. Okay, that doesn't look that scary, but you have to remember how terrifying it is for her to run into a farm animal when she's unarmed, he joked. For context, beginners might not know that Noem shared this story in her 2024 memoir, where she recounted euthanizing a family dog and a goat on her South Dakota farm. It's a personal anecdote that paints her as tough on rural life, but Johnson flips it to question her composure in the face of what he sees as a harmless, feathered foe. Imagine if every backyard barnyard critter sent shivers down your spine. That's the exaggerated fear he's amplifying for laughs. But this is the part most people miss. The segment didn't stop at the poultry punchline. Johnson shifted gears to critique Trump's broader strategy, accusing him of whipping up fear with the Antifa label. Antifa, short for anti-fascist, is a loosely organized movement of activists opposing far-right extremism, not a formal group with a hierarchy or official membership. To help newcomers understand, think of it like a grassroots network of protesters who show up at rallies to counter hate speech, rather than a structured army. Trump, however, has branded it a domestic terrorist organization to justify deploying National Guard troops to Portland amid the unrest. Johnson hilariously underscored the absurdity. While they're all people who identify as Antifa, it isn't really an official group. They don't even have a website. Like my cousin's baby has its own website. It's a relatable jab, suggesting Antifa's sophistication is about as advanced as a newborn's online presence. Cute, but not exactly a global menace. He then cut to a clip of Noem herself, equating Antifa to notorious groups like MS-13, ISIS, Hezbollah, and Hamas. Wait, what? And they're here? Johnson exclaimed. She made Antifa feel like the Power Rangers of terrorism. For those unfamiliar, the Power Rangers are a team of colorful superheroes from a kids' show, a lighthearted contrast to deadly terrorist organizations, highlighting how Noem's comparison might inflate Antifa's danger level. This raises eyebrows, doesn't it? On one hand, Noem's stance aligns with a tough-on-crime narrative, but critics argue it oversimplifies complex social movements into boogeymen for political gain. Is Antifa truly on par with ISIS, or is this hyperbole to distract from real issues like immigration reform? And what about Johnson's mocking of Noem? Fair game for a public figure, or does it undermine serious discussions on security? We invite you to weigh in. Do you see Antifa as a legitimate threat, or just a convenient scapegoat? Is satire like this helpful in politics, or does it cross into unfair territory? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's spark a conversation. For more of Johnson's take, check out the full Thursday monologue on The Daily Show.